let's load our data set into Power BI. So this is the data set of Jacques Kallis, his all international cricket centuries, which we're gonna visualize. Okay, so let's start it. So our data is loaded. Okay, so let's build our first visualization, which is going to be line chart. Okay, so let's click on line chart. Okay, so now we're gonna add date in the x-axis, and we're gonna add number in the y-axis. Okay, so let's do it by year. Okay, so this gonna depict us number of centuries by year. So 2008 he scored 8 centuries, 2001 4 centuries, 1999 5 centuries. Okay, so now click on title. Let's change the title, centuries over time. Perfect. Now keeping it in center, making it bold, keeping it Arial black. Okay, so now let's fastly move on to our next visualization, which is going to be bar chart, which gonna visualize centuries by opponent. So let's click over here, and in the bar chart we're gonna have against in the y-axis, and in the x-axis we're going to have number, which depicts the centuries. Okay, clicking on count. So you can see against West Indies, Jack Kallis has scored most centuries. So now changing the title, giving it Arial black, keeping it center. Perfect. Okay, now fastly moving on to our third visualization, which is going to be donut chart. Perfect. So we're gonna have a match result depiction for this particular donut chart. So in the legend, we're gonna have result. Okay. So whether match was drawn, won, or lost. Okay. And in the values, we're gonna have number, like when Jack Kallis scored a century, what was the result? And so you can see. Okay, so you can see over here, out of those 62 centuries, there was 35 times whenever Jack Kallis scored 100, the team won, 20 times drawn, and 7 times lost. So let's change the title again. So now let's come to our fourth visualization, which is bar chart. So, so for the fourth chart, let's look at where he scored these centuries. So let's make it clustered. So in the y-axis, we're gonna have ground, and in the x-axis, we're gonna have the century count. At home, he scored the most centuries, 29 of them out of 62, 27 away, and 6 at a neutral ground. So we're gonna have the team against he scored the century as well in the tooltips. So you can see at home he scored 29 centuries, first against Australia. The first score was 100, and away also 27. First was against Australia, and at a neutral ground, it was 6, first against Netherlands. So you can see his first home ground century was 3rd April 1998 and away 26th December 1997. And okay, so now let's change the title. Okay, now let's add the KPI card. Let me resize the visualizations. Okay, now let's have our first card, which is going to depict total number of centuries, I guess, but it count 62. Okay, change the title, total centuries, making it Arial black, keeping it under center. Okay, so so now let's add another card which gonna show the highest score, which is 224. Okay, now let's change the design, remove the category label, add title, which is going to be highest score, making it Arial black. Okay, making it aligning. Perfect. So now let's add a slicer. So in the field, we're gonna have the opponent and style. It's going to be a drop down. Slicer heading filter by opponent. Okay, keeping it Arial black. Okay, okay, okay. So now all our visualization is done. Let's do the aesthetic part of this dashboard. Let's change the background and add a few PNGs to make it more aesthetic. So now you can see I've changed the background color. So now let's insert some images, I guess. So I've already visualized all the visualizations over here, and I've also changed the aesthetic part of it. Added a few PNGs here and there. Changed the you know key uh, design elements over here, and you can do anything you want, as per your own liking. So this is a very basic dashboard for beginners, but with a slicer element, as you can see, I've added over here. So if you're gonna click on Australia, Bangladesh, you can see the performance. So so let me change the color of it. So you can see against India, Jacques Kallis scored 9 centuries, highest score 201, Netherlands 1, New Zealand 9, 186, Australia 147, England 182, and so on. Okay. So thanks for watching. See you in the next tutorial.